fans of international UFC events littered with aging veterans who should perhaps enter the octagon on mobility scooters. Welcome back to Naughty Boy Fight Picks. This is my picks and predictions video for UFC Sao Paulo fight night number, who fucking knows. Is it a fight night? I believe it is, so it must be 137, I'm guessing. I never fucking know these things, and I always forget to look because they don't have the numbers listed on the UFC website anymore, so never mind. Sad news, Kid Yamamoto died. I'm not going to pretend like I was real familiar with his body of work, and obviously the best years of his career weren't spent in the UFC, so but yeah, familiar with some of those highlights and the personality and whatnot, so pretty sad. See, people are very depressed about that, so young too, which I guess is the really sad part. But on to more cheerful news. I had my third BJJ class last night. I tapped someone with a belly down armbar. Don't even know if that's what you'd call it, but I believe so. People know what I'm talking about anyway. Spent like a 3-minute round underneath this massive strong dude, just with like him just controlling me with his body weight and learning to kind of get comfortable in those positions. So real fun. Obviously I don't know jack shit yet, but all the UFC I've watched is surprisingly helpful. So occasionally I'll have a light bulb moment when I'm stuck in a position. I'll be like, oh yeah, no, I've seen this, and this is the direction you want to go, or you know, many thanks to Joe Rogan, and no thanks to Mike Goldberg, but for all the BJJ direction. I noticed this week, or it dawned upon me, that prior to UFC Moscow, I had perfect record on picking heavyweight fights and a perfect record at picking main events. I got 2 heavyweight fights wrong on that card, and I of course got the main event wrong on that card, which sucks shit because I really wanted to hold on to those perfects, but it's inevitable that they won't stay perfect, so what can you do? But my records in those areas are still really good, but really good ain't the same as perfect, so fuck me. Never mind, we will and that's the thing, you can never get back to perfect as well, so oh well, I'll just look at keeping those percentages high anyhow. What was I going to say? This card coming up, not dissimilar from last week's card, where you've got a lot of aging guys, some newcomers and incredibly difficult matchups. Card looks to be pretty favored towards the Brazilian fighters for the most part, much like the Russian card was. So I'll get into my picks after I go through the card, but I've pulled my head in a bit, I think, and I'm feeling confident in this week's picks. Gone much more conservative. I think I was getting out of control before, especially with the parlays. I was just fucking dotting down money all over the show and just including so many fighters, and I think I want to bring it back and just not include so many. So like last week, my instinct was to lay a lot of money down on a bunch of those heavy favorites all parlayed together, and that's what I should have fucking done, but I didn't. I was an idiot. So let's get into this card. As per usual, not all fights are created equal. I looked at the card and the odds and then tried to pick some spots with value. So some fights I've looked into more than others, and I will state whether I have looked into a fight seriously or not, and you should be able to tell anyway. But disclaimer, yeah, some of these observations range from pretty casual to severely casual, so I'm sure you don't take my word as gospel when you're just listening to hear someone's ideas, so yeah, but don't fucking bet all my picks or something and then come complaining to me when you're broke. Alright, first fight of the night is Lavinia Souza versus Alex Chambers, Astro Girl. Lavinia's nickname is the Brazilian Gangster. Fuck, there's some bad nicknames in MMA. It's just the most unimaginative sector of society, it would seem. I'm sure other sports are worse, actually. But got Lavinia Souza. She's 11-1, and Alex Chambers 5-4. Fucking Alex Chambers KO TKO percentage is 80%. That's wild. I suspect those aren't against very good opponents. So when I saw Lavinia on the card, I remembered her from seeing her fight in Invicta, which bodes well because I don't usually remember people from other organizations. They're not usually that memorable, but she definitely made an impression. She's very aggressive, fiery kind of character, and obviously people are familiar with Alex Chambers. I don't think she's fought in a while, and she also hasn't won in a while, I don't believe. Souza, a massive favourite here. I've included her in some parlays, and I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a finish as well. She's got lots of submissions on her record, a couple KOs. This is obviously a step, well, I was going to say a step up, but she's probably fought harder people in Invicta. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised she gets a finish here. May look at that prop bet, but fuck, I had a fucking nightmare event last week with props, and I had sworn off them a while ago, and then I wanted to improve my prop bet percentage, so I was like, oh yeah, here's some spots, and I fucked it up severely, so there you go. But Lavinia Souza, probably by finish, if not, definitely by decision. Alex Chambers, she's old too, right? Yeah. Next fight up was supposed to be Zaleski dos Santos versus Bilal Muhammad, which is super exciting. Fuck, that would have been a great fight, and so weird that it was buried way down on the prelims. Like, had that fight transpired, I feel like that might have been, yeah, would have been a better co-main than the current co-main, but never mind. Now this has transformed into, who the fuck is Zaleski fighting now? Some newcomer, right? Let me just find this here. Sorry about this, can't seem to find it. Where is he? There he is. Luigi Vendramini. Oh fuck. Who is this guy? Obviously, favoring Zaleski. I've included him in some parlays. Oh yeah, so Luigi's 8-0. Obviously Italian, but legit Italian. I mean, like, fighting out of Rome, Italy. He's 8-0, all finishes. Fuck. What's he done? Where's he been fighting? Samurai Fight, never heard of it. Aspera FC. Yeah, so I don't know, like, the record looks nice, but I suspect it's not against great competition. And Zaleski is a fucking tough fight for anyone in the UFC. So coming in on debut in Brazil, that's a fucking nightmare. Yeah, Zaleski obviously super aggressive and pretty scary. His 13 of his 19 wins have come by KO. So I'm picking Dos Santos by KO in this fight here. Fucking gutted that the Bilal Muhammad fight didn't happen. Next fight up, we got the old boys, Thales Leites versus Hector Lombard. I wrote some notes on this because I did look into it, and I was thinking Laties could be a live dog. And I still think he could be, but I'm not going to play it. I just think he looks really slow in his last few fights. And yeah, Hector Lombard still appears to, despite being 40, he still appears to kind of have some dynamism, is that a word, and ability to explode into things. And so Leighty's with a massive height and reach advantage here. But yeah, he just hasn't looked good at keeping dudes off him, and I think Lombard is probably gonna... Ooh, Lombard might land something. And Leighty's definitely isn't going to get Lombard to the ground. He has lights out takedown defense, the judo background. Yeah. I think Leighty's kicking game could come into play here. Seen him implemented against, forget who the opponent was, but decent kicks, but they, like everything with him now, they come pretty slow. I'm kind of torn on who to pick here. It's Leighty's last fight, right? Let's go Leighty's by decision, because I don't think he'll get a sub on Hector, and I don't think he'll get a KO. So Leighty's by decision in that fight there. Next up we have Gillian Robinson versus Mara Bueno Silva. Both pretty young in their careers, but Gillian has a long amateur record, which I guess when you're looking at fights like this is kind of a bit of an advantage, just time spent fighting, like in proper fight. Silva is coming off the Dana White Contender Series Brazil, which I haven't watched any of, so I'm not really too sure the level of competition there, but from what I have heard people saying, it doesn't sound that high, and it sounds like she was matched up with a older woman with not a great record in that fight. I watched it and there wasn't much to see. She got clinched up against the fence, was held there for a little while, and then she got this choke, and it was, she just had it with the arms, and her opponent tapped. So other highlights and stuff I saw of her, she appears to be largely a grappler. But yeah, I think experience is going to be the difference here, and Gillian Robinson's looked real good in the UFC in her two fights. Not great technical striking, but she seems to have an eye for the counter. So I think she, and then obviously her ground game looks really good and her top control. So I think she's probably going to be better wherever this fight goes. She was lined as the underdog to begin with, and I think I got her at dog money, but the line's flipped now. A lot of people playing Gillian Robertson in this fight, so I'm going to pick her by decision in this fight. Next fight up, we have Sergio Moraes versus Ben Saunders. Once again, two guys at the tail end of their careers. Ben Saunders fucking beat, what's his name? That guy that was fucked in his last fight. Man, I was just completely losing concentration there and drifting off. I've included Sergio Moraes in some parlays here, or one parlay. He's gone up against pretty good competition recently and had a bunch of good wins. Fuck, his streak's really good actually, apart from the KO loss to Usman. After that he beat Tim Means. Prior to that he beat Davi Hamosh, Zach Otto, had a draw with Luan Chagas, beat Akhmedov, beat Magny. So his recent run is fucking good. Since 2012 he has won 7, drawn 1 and lost 1. So I think Ben Saunders has been facing reasonable competition as well. He's 22-9 overall. So he got that win over Allenberger recently. Prior to that, lost to Joban and lost to Peter Sabota. So yeah, just based on that, I'm gonna say fuck. Saunders been KO'd a lot of times too, and Moraes he's only got one KO on the record. Yeah, but I'm gonna pick Moraes here, probably by decision, maybe sub. He's got a good submission game, but yeah, Moraes in that fight for sure. Next fight up, haven't looked into this one. Fuck all. Augusto Sakai versus Chase Sherman at heavyweight. I think Sakai is another Brazilian Contender Series guy. He's 10-1. Chase Sherman 11-4. Feels like Chase Sherman's been around forever in the UFC. Having not looked into this, I'm just gonna cast a wild aspersion based on the fact that Chase Sherman, he's not fucking horrible, is he? Alright, let's go Chase Sherman by, I don't want to pick him by KO, but alright, Chase Sherman by KO, there you go. As I said, don't place any stock in that. Next fight up, Luis Henrique versus Ryan Spann. Spann coming off the American Contender Series. Fuck, these cards are littered with Contender Series guys now. He's 10-5 versus Luis Henrique. Luis coming down from heavyweight down to light heavyweight. So, always difficult to pick fights when guys are changing divisions because you don't really know what they're going to look like in a different division. Yeah, I expect Spann to get this big height and reach advantage. Yeah, not much insight to give on this fight, but I'm going to give it to Spann by so. Yeah, probably by submission. There we go. Next fight up on the card, we have more old boys. Francisco Trinaldo versus Evan Dunham. Trinaldo, pretty heavy favorite here. And this is Dunham's retirement fight also. So we've got Trinaldo 22-6 versus Evan Dunham 18-7. Just going to have a quick look at what's been happening with these guys recently because my memory is fucking shocking. Trinaldo. Yeah, I didn't look at this fight at all because I wasn't interested in betting either of these guys. Trinaldo never been knocked out. Got 7 KOs on his record. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Trinaldo's recent record has been reasonable. He had that decision loss to James Vick. Prior to that, he had a win over Jim Miller, then the loss to Kevin Lee, then wins over Paul Felder, Yancy Medeiros, Ross Pearson, Chad LaPriest, and then some guys that don't matter. So, yeah, I can see why Trinaldo's the favourite here. Evan Dunham, what's he been doing? I think he's fucking fought the who's who, hasn't he? Yeah, knocked out in his last fight by Olivier. Draw prior to that versus Benil. And before that, he had 4 wins, but not over the greatest guys. Rick Glenn, Joe Lozon, Ross Pearson, Rodrigo Dam. And before that, he had a streak of losses to really top flight competition. Barboza, Cerrone, and RDA. So, yeah. Dunham been knocked out a couple times. I'm going to pick Trinaldo. He throws his big bombs. I'm going to pick Trinaldo by KO in this fight. I think he will catch Evan Dunham. And yeah, weird place for Dunham to have his retirement fight in Brazil. I guess beggars can't be choosers, right? Next fight up, we got Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Christos Giagos. Guy making his debut. I think this is one of those cases where this is very hard asking. Giagos doesn't even have like an incredible regional record, so he's 15-6. Yeah, he's got a bunch of losses. One of them's to Josh Emmett in WFC. Okay, so he's been in the UFC before. Shit. And he's got a UFC win, actually. And lost to Gilbert Burns. Well, that makes a bit more sense. But still, I think this is easily Charles Oliveira's fight to win here. I think I included him in a parlay as well. So he's big favourite. Credible submission game. Just looking if Giagos has been subbed, and if so, how many times, because he's got 3 submission losses out of his 6 losses. So yeah, Oliveira by sub could be a playable prop in this fight, and that's my pick, Oliveira by submission. Next up, we have Randa Marcos versus Marina Rodriguez. Pretty sure people are all familiar with Randa and her game, or lack thereof. She's 8-7, goes win-loss, win-loss, win-loss ever since she's been in the UFC. Marina Rodriguez, coming out of Brazil, 9-0. A few KOs on that record. Didn't look into this because I figured Marcos should be, and I believe is the favourite against a newcomer, but I don't want to bet Marcos for shit because you can't rely on her. But let's, for the sake of making a pick without having looked at it at all, I'm just going to go Marcos by decision. She's pretty tough and she'll keep coming forward, and she may be able to apply pressure to a newcomer, so we'll go with that. Next fight up, another strange matchup. Renan Barão, the former champion, versus Andre Ewell. Is that how you say that? So Andre Ewell making his debut against the former champ. See a few people betting Ewell here, obviously based off the fact that Barão seems pretty done. I'm not that confident in his deterioration. Like, it's pretty apparent, but has he deteriorated enough to lose to a guy who's 13-4 on the regional scene, coming in and making his debut? I don't really think so. So Andre Ewell's got a win over Willie Gates. It's a recognisable name in there. Another recognisable name is a win over Rick James. Fuck, I hope it was the singing Rick James. That would be an event I would watch, and an event Scott Coker would probably book, or Oscar De La Hoya. Now he's in the business of senior citizens fighting. Yeah. So I haven't watched any of Andre Ewell, but I'm just going to have some faith in Renan, like we had in Jose last time out. 2 different stories, obviously, but yeah, let's go Renan by submission, maybe decision. Fuck yeah, probably a decision the way he's looked recently. But yeah, I think Renan is going to win that fight. Now, to the main card. Sam Alvey versus Antonio Nogueira. Alvey, heavy favourite here for obvious reasons. Nogueira hasn't fought for fucking ages. Prior to that, he popped. They said it was tainted supplement. Always dubious about that shit. Yeah, and so I don't want to put any money on Alvey because I don't trust him for fucking nothing. He's won his first 2 fights, I believe, since moving up to 205, so that's kind of encouraging. The concern is usually, can he get off and can he land that shot, because he is a very slow-paced fighter, and yeah, I would never have faith in him to win a decision against a busy, kind of fast guy, which is not the case in this fight. So I'm pretty confident Alvey will catch a slow, old, and coming off a big layoff Nogueira. but I wouldn't want to play it. But my pick there is definitely Sam Alvey by KO TKO. Yeah, they'll probably be paying fuck all in a prop as well. If it was paying nicely, I'd maybe have a little play, but no, I don't trust Alvey. Fuck all. Co-main event: Alex Oliveira, Cowboy versus Carlo Pedersoli. So I should just disclose that I've placed a unit on Carlo Pedersoli. I'm not super confident that he will win, but he's paying $4, and I just put one unit on it, and I think that unit's going to be covered, so I was kind of prepared to part with it. And I just kind of had this weird hunch that Pedersoli could be the foil, the underdog for this card. Oliveira comes in, I don't think there's many guys that appear to enjoy being there as much as Oliveira. But I think also, whilst that makes him very relaxed and loose, and he comes out fucking firing, so he don't need to ease his way into a fight. He just comes out and he goes 100 miles an hour from the beginning. I think that hurts him in areas, so he can at times exhibit some pretty poor defense, and he can get caught. So I guess my hope here is that Pedersoli, he's got pretty nice kicks, and we saw that in his... So he came in on short notice to face Brad Scotch in his UFC debut. I think it was real short notice too, like less than a couple weeks. And he came in, got a split decision. Prior to that, he had a split decision over Nicholas Dolby, former UFC fighter. Famously went to a draw with Darren Till, and he had a split decision win over Nicholas Dolby. Concerns here for Pedersoli, getting taken down and grappled, I would be worried about. But I think he showed a pretty decent takedown game, actually. He had real nice entries on his takedowns, I think. Yeah, he went 3 out of 4 takedowns in his debut against Brad Scotch. Pedersoli's actually on an 8-fight win streak. He's 11-1 overall. Obviously coming out of Italy, praying not against the greatest competition. He hides kicks real nicely behind his hands, so the kick, he'll throw a punch and the kick will come right behind it really quickly. And it's a real sneaky technique that he likes to use reasonably frequently, but not too frequently. So I'm hoping he catches Cowboy with one of those and fucking knocks him out. I think Oliveira's been knocked out several times, right? There's definitely that one versus, what's his name? South American dude. Fucking hell, my memory is so shocking. Did I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Yancey. Not fucking Hawaiian, sorry. Oh yeah, so that's the only time he's been knocked out, actually. So, fuck, maybe my bet sucks, but I'm prepared to fucking risk it for that $4, and man, I'll be gassed if it pays off. Anyhow, on to the main event. Was supposed to be, and I think this was, who filled in on this? Thiago, right? So there was replacements, and it ended up Jimmy Manuwa versus Thiago Santos. Santos obviously moving up to 205. Manuwa just pulled out, and fucking Eric Anders has stepped in to fight Thiago Santos. Yeah, speaking of my memory being garbage, so my memory of Anders versus Tim Williams, which was just, what? That was real recently. Wasn't that on the Vic Gaethje card, I believe? My memory of that fight was that Anders really struggled to get his offense off. And that was true of the first round, but yeah, he got quite busy in the second and third and dropped Williams. Williams, obviously not a great opponent, but he did give a real good account of himself that night. But it doesn't fill me with hope for Anders. I think he's kind of he's shown a lot of promise, but is under delivering. So maybe a quick turnaround would be good for a guy like that. Uh, Fighting, so it's essentially two middleweights fighting at light heavyweight. Although Santos is fucking massive, and I expect him to perhaps find a comfortable home at light heavyweight and do quite well there. Wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. There's a bit of a knock on his chin, and that may improve upper division. But obviously, then I'm glad he's not fighting Manawa now, because I wanted to bet him in that. But I was like, fuck, if Manawa catches him with something, he might be done. He got hit with some hard shots from Kevin Holland in his last fight. A super difficult fight, and hard for him to have a great looking performance in that. But I think he did really well and showed off some fucking vicious ground and pound. Obviously, Santos, like Oliveira, comes out and just is going from the bell. Like, he doesn't ease his way into a fight. He just comes out and is trying to take dudes' heads off. Because of the Branch fight, I had this weird idea about his momentum. But his recent run has been really fucking good, in fact. Just he had that setback to David Branch. I think Branch is a bit underrated, so he came out in his debut and was putting it on Luke Rockhold, which is no easy feat unless you're Yoel. And he was looking really good in that fight till Rockhold caught him, and then of course came out against Santos and dropped him. So I think I'm just going to have a quick look at what Santos has actually been doing recently, because I think apart from that, it's a lot of wins. Yeah, so he's won 5 of his last 6. He only had that loss to David Branch. So I've made a play here on Santos. I think so. That was the other thing in the Tim Williams fight for Anders. Williams really showed some holes in Anders' striking defense, and I just think Santos is going to catch him with something probably early. Anders appears to be pretty tough, so maybe he'll withstand that. But yeah, 5 rounds. There's got to be a finish in this fight, right? Yeah, I'm going to pick Santos. I think he is the faster, more dynamic guy and more dangerous. So, Santos, probably by KO. Or maybe he stuns him and gets a sub or something. Who knows? But yeah, Thiago Santos by finish. And that is my picks for this card. I'll just quickly go through what my bets actually are. Where are we? I saw some people not too happy with the Russia card, but I don't know. I quite enjoyed it, I thought. It was early in the morning, so maybe my memory's distorted, but I wasn't displeased with that card. I kind of expect this one to be kind of fun as well. There's some good fights on this. I haven't done a fight to watch and fighter to watch. Maybe I'll be able to think of one on the fly. So my bets for this card, anyhow. Thiago Santos, I've got 5 units on him. Ballsy play, perhaps. Got 1 unit there on Carlo Pedersoli Jr. And I got 4 units on Gillian Robertson. Parlays, I have Souza and Charles de Bronx parlayed together. And then I have another parlay I placed with Zaleski, Souza, and then Tony Ferguson at 229. I want to... the props are so slow on the sites I use, which is eternally frustrating. But I do want to include a main event not going the distance with perhaps Souza and Zaleski. And that one I may go pretty heavy on the units with. So what else have we got today? Oh yeah, I was going to get to some comments and stuff. Of course, it's the McGregor Habib press conference on Thursday. I'm going to be at work, so I'm going to have to watch it at the end of the day, and shit will be popping up on my Facebook, I know, but that's quite exciting. Shame they're not going to have a live audience there, because that would make it all that much more fun. But never mind, right? We'll still be exciting to see them face off. Real interested to see because Habib's always so calm and collected and unflappable. I wonder, can fucking Connor get under his skin, or has prior events, the events leading up to this fight, will they dictate that he acts in a way we haven't seen before? I suspect not, but interesting anyhow. And always, of course, interesting to see what the fuck McGregor's gonna do. I wonder if he's still, well, I guess he probably would have stopped using cocaine now, right? Leading up to the fight. Maybe not. We shall see. Alright, into some comments. What do we got? Maverick Music says, Naughty Boy, say no more, from a fellow Maverick. What's up? Thank you. Bookworm Bandit, from the fucking brilliant Diego Sanchez comment the other week. I'll eternally remember this human now. Hunt initially looked superb, but Olenek's chin and composure was this is a word I have real difficulty saying. It makes me sound like a dumbass. Revelatory. I did it. I was awestruck when he took that true Hunt overhand right and didn't blink. It was out of a zombie flick. Olenek takes the punch and is like, oh, look at the little bunny. It smells like pussy. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. When Hunt landed that, I was like, alright, game over. But no, Olenek came back eventually. Hickson says, this event equals a ranked opponent versus me equals James Vick. I took an L today, onto the next card. Yeah, me too, bro. Good luck for next week. Irish Brother's back, in case anyone didn't see. This dude was on my channel a while ago, defending, what's his name? That coach. Andrea KGB Lee, is that her name? Oh, Donnie thing with the Nazi tattoo. This guy was like defending the Nazi tattoo, if I recall correctly. Sorry if you weren't, but I believe you were. Anyway, Irish Brother says, proud white nationalist, hope I don't offend the PC brigade. Good card. Hunt let me down. He got wrapped up with the anaconda. That wasn't an anaconda. Fuck me spelling. Hope you're a real cat, Louis. Well, if by real cat you mean white nationalist, no. Definitely not. And yeah, bro, you might be on the wrong channel if you're proudly expounding the virtue of white nationalism, because I ain't with that. Yeah, perhaps look elsewhere. Thanks for your time, though. 10 Silly Diva, regular on the channel. Thank you for your comments as always. You were chasing ghosts on these Russia bits, brother. I set this one out until next week. It is nearly impossible to permanently migrate. Fucking hell. Is it really nearly impossible to permanently migrate to New Zealand or Australia? Some idiot in the US told me that you have to be a doctor or have a high-end special skill in order to stay. I assume he's just jealous that I'm getting the hell out of here and he's stuck like Chuck. Yeah, so as far as I know, it obviously helps if you do have a specialist profession, but I have heard of personal trainers. Obviously, there are fucking dime a dozen here. I've heard of personal trainers getting granted residency, youth workers. So, you know, you could argue that they're specialists, but yeah, so to me it doesn't sound too strict, and probably worth looking into. Fucking great part of the world to live in. When I travel and I go places where police are fucking got automatic weapons and or just guns in general. Our cops don't have guns. In Australia they do, and it's a pretty interesting social experiment in how different a person acts when they're holding a firearm. Funny story about that, actually. I was in Wellington, New Zealand with some friends, and two were from Staten Island, New York. One was from Portugal, and there was some Australians with me as well. So Australian cops are real fucked up, man. They'll try and antagonize you into a fucking incident with them. New Zealand cops still, they will fuck with you, but like you can have a fist fight with the cops in New Zealand. You'll get fucked up. Like they'll get you back to the station and beat the shit out of you in a cell, like with a group of 4 or 5 of them. But you can like step to a cop in the street and have a fist fight, and you know, worst that will probably happen is a pepper spraying or something. Obviously, you know, there's been people killed by police. They'll get so they have an armed offenders squad out here. Fuck, this is a real tangent, hey. What was I saying? Oh, anyhow, I was with those internationals here, and these cops started following us. And I like turned around to them and I was like, fuck off, what are you doing? And they're like, blah, 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 where are you going? I was like, none of your fucking business. And my friends who are familiar with police from other places, they were like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't talk to the cops like that. I was like, nah, in New Zealand, it's all good. You can swear at them and shit. Could turn bad, but, you know, you can, how would you describe it? You can kind of, yeah, there's not such a power imbalance, whereas you can't stick up for yourself with them and kind of tell them to fuck off if they are acting out of pocket. So there's way better reasons than that to live here. I'm not sure why I focused on that, but yeah, beautiful place. Look into it. We could watch some fights together. Definitely would recommend New Zealand over Australia though, obviously, because I'm biased, but it is better. I've lived in both countries. Wyatt Matheson says, hey Louis, what's your favourite sports book? Also, what chance do you give Chambers to live for a next fight? Little to none. Favourite sports book? I think I get my best odds usually on Bet365. That's super late with the prop bets, and sometimes with just odds in general. But yeah, I usually get best odds there. And yeah, I seem to be quite limited about where I can open accounts. Like I had to do lots of searching to find the ones I have. So I have Bet365, sportsbet.au, and BetSafe, and TAB, which is a New Zealand one, which is garbage. But every now and then on TAB, you'll catch some odds that are way higher than on the good ones that I frequently use, and that's happened a couple of times, so that's alright. Jill, glad to see you're picking Thiago Santos. Yeah, me too. I think he wins that fight. I don't think Ant is really there yet. You got Soul. Just a heads up, be careful of a tipster called Rob Brown, as he is going around trying to link up with honest YouTubers like yourself. Thank you for calling me honest, who have a good following. He's trying to get them to promote his service. He's offering them crap deals to promote his service. The guy has negative units on his straight win picks. He tries to get people to buy low odds parlays. It's a con, and sadly 2 YouTubers have fallen for it so far. So yeah, I was kind of aware of this dude. He put out a free pick once on Twitter, and I tailed it and won. So I was like, initially I was like, oh yeah, this dude's all good, but I've seen some kind of sus shit since. Like I saw someone saying, I think that he kept changing or even deleting accounts on betmma.tips because he was losing big, and then wanting to present a winning record to the public. So his Twitter says that his record is crazy good, but people in the know will tell you that it's not. So yeah, I've had people approach me about collaboration and things of that nature, but I'm not really interested. I definitely don't want to promote someone else's service or picks. Like, what the fuck for? They ain't gonna give me fuck all. Nothing that's worth me risking my integrity. So yeah, definitely a no-go zone for me. I'm just having fun with this shit. I'm trying to make some money for myself and kind of share what's going on for people that are interested to listen. So yeah, I ain't with that bullshit. With that, we shall leave it for the day. I ain't got a fight to watch or a fighter to watch, I don't think. Nah, fuck, I got some work shit to do and 5 minutes. I need a cigarette before then, so I better head off. But thanks so much once again for listening. Good luck this week. I'm going to get some units back. I hope you do too, or if you haven't been losing units, I hope you get your units up further. Enjoy the fights, and I'll be back next week with recap, obviously, but then very exciting whole card prediction and picks breakdown for 229, where I will look into every single fight. So I will do a proper video for that event because I'm pretty excited about it and it's going to be fun. Alright, Choice, thank you.